With Tacticus being such an amazing strategic and tactical game filled to the brim with features and goals that you can be setting yourself, it can also get a little bit overwhelming. Today we're going to be helping you shape your goals with tips for both beginners and veterans of the game. Welcome to Tacticus. This amazing Warhammer 40k game is really deep with many overlapping features and a really tight gameplay loop. Even if you're not a Warhammer fan, then you're still in for a real treat here once you get into it. I've been playing for well over a year and it has never once felt boring or dull. To me, it's always felt like I'm some commander strategically setting goals for my troops and then tactically helping them to get there. I treat it like a big war campaign, where I am one piece on the board working alongside my guildmates to keep progressing and improving. And of course, sometimes even winning. However, if you're at the beginning of your Tacticus career, all of the features will be completely overwhelming, and so we're going to set some easy early goals for ourselves. So first we will just start simple by collecting some new characters. We're going to do this by leveling 3 characters from the same campaign to Silver 1. We're going to use those characters to open up new characters and campaigns, and then we're going to level another 3 characters from another campaign to Silver 1. And these 3 goals will help set you on your way and let you learn about the features of the game as you go. One thing I want to say is that unlike other games, at the start of Tacticus, there are no wrong choices. So don't worry about picking this character or that character, as you won't regret it later. They will all become useful at some point in different modes. However, even with that said, there are definitely some choices that are a bit more efficient in the early stages when focusing on these goals rather than others. So let's deep dive into them together. So starting with the first goal, which was to level 3 characters from the same campaign to Silver 1, as you begin the game you will see that there are 4 normal campaigns and then 4 mirror campaigns. With each campaign there is always 3 main characters that you need to play in every battle. Sometimes they're joined by 1 or 2 others in battles, but you'll always need these core 3. They are as follows. For the Indomitus campaign, it's Varro, Certus and Bellator. For the Indomitus mirror, it's Makotep, Imospec and Alefnul. For Fall of Cadia, it's Angrax, Archimatos and Harkin Worldclaimer. For Fall of Cadia Mirror, it's Cut Skoden, Sybil Divine and Thaddeus Noble. For the Ictarius campaign, it's Gibascraps, Snapareka and Boss Gulgurts. For the Ictarius Mirror, it's Brother Butchered, Sword Brother Godswill and Ancient Thoriad. For Same Han, it's Calandus, Athana and Eldrion. And finally for Same Han Mirror, it's Yazagor, Toth and Abraxas. And wow, that's already 24 characters. So where should you start? Well, the simple answer is just pick 3 that you already have from that list and play with them initially. A good starting point is Varro, Certus and Bellator, as you will definitely have them. If you do pick them, then just start playing through the Indomitus campaign as far as you can get, upgrading them along the way. And when I'm talking about upgrading characters, there are actually 5 different ways that you can improve your characters. You can level up their XP by collecting and using XP tomes. This is actually only a dependency for the next 4 ways to improve your character. It does not improve your damage, survivability or functionality of your character in any way. Basically, each of the following things can only be improved once you've got your XP at a certain level. So you can give them weapons and armor, and then you can level those. This will increase their damage and survivability. You can increase their character progression by collecting character shards and orbs in order to add more stars. This increases their survivability, damage, and skills power. And you can increase the level of those passive and active skills. This increases the character's functionality in battles. So for example, a healer will be able to heal better, or someone that spawns in other characters will be able to spawn in tougher characters. And finally, you upgrade their rarity by adding upgrades. This again increases their damage and survivability. So if you hear me talking about bringing a character to Silver 1, that just means you go to their character sheet, you find these upgrades and you add them in. And once you've got all 6 complete, your character will level up from Stone 1 to Stone 2 to Stone 3, and then to Iron 1, 2, 3, then through Bronze 1, 2, 3, and finally to Silver 1. Here I've already pushed Bellator to Gold 3, but that'll take you a little while to catch up with, because each character will take you between 5 and 8 days to Silver 1. So just take your time and push them up bit by bit. I personally would focus first on the upgrades, as they give you the biggest increases early on. I would then equip some basic weapons and armor, and then look to level the passive and active skills that I find useful, but that's a whole video in itself. It's only at that point that I would consider touching the character progression and increasing its number of stars. Think of the stars as more of their mastery level as you go. Finally, I would then level up my weapons and armor once I understand how the game works. Once you have your characters ready, at some point you're going to be ready to fight a boss in the campaign. If you're doing the Indomitus campaign, the first boss is Makotep, and a few things will happen when you finally beat him. You will get a very important 24-hour mission that you should make sure you complete, as it gives you a requisition scroll, and that gives you a chance to open more characters. You will unlock the next campaign page with a whole new boss, and you're going to be able to play or raid this boss battle again to collect some more character shards for him. So let's move to goals 2 and 3. They were use the characters to open up new characters in campaigns, and level another 3 characters from another campaign to silver 1, and these go hand in hand together. First, keep playing as much as you can, beating bosses and playing that campaign as far as you can get, while trying to open up more bosses, grinding character shards to get new characters, then completing their important 24-hour mission, and eventually you'll open up some new campaigns. And you might be wondering, why do you need to open up new campaigns? What is the difference between the normal campaigns like Indomitus, the mirror campaigns like Indomitus Mirror, and the elite campaigns? Well, there are 3 main differences. Firstly, you're going to get to unlock different characters from each different campaign that you start. The elite campaigns are also more difficult versions of the ones you've already played. And finally, a really important difference is how easy it is for you to get upgrades from them. I have done deep dives in this before in other beginner videos, so I'll keep this last point quite high level for now. But let's say we want to get this item. We can see that it comes from a few different places. If we go to one of those places and click on the little dice above the item, you can see that it tells you the percentage chance to get it. I've compiled all those together into an easy to check table that you can now see on screen. And you're generally looking to see what's the lowest average energy cost for each rarity of upgrade. For the Indomitus early missions, and those are all the missions from Indomitus 15 up to Indomitus 29 that only costs 5 energy, well, they are the most efficient for new players to get started, at least until they've opened an elite campaign. And for the rest of them, this table might be a little bit overwhelming for you. The easy thing is this: for all type of upgrades and character shards, it's best to farm in this order. You farm the elite missions, which are better than the early Indomitus missions, which are better than the mirror missions, and finally the normal campaign missions are the worst. And of course, those are the ones you start with. So it's very important to be getting further into the campaigns as quickly as possible. Already this is quite a lot to remember, so I've built a free Google Sheet planner that many people are already using. It is linked in the comment below, and it helps you to plan your teams, understand roughly how long it'll take to level them, as well as covering many of the more advanced features for later. It's not necessary at all, but it has helped me when I was getting started to sort my head out and remember what I was doing. The reason it's very useful is that even if you're just planning out the leveling of 3 new characters to silver 1, then that already takes 15 days. When you start to grow your collection, then that is even more complexity to try and remember, so having an easy to use tool there helps massively. I keep it regularly updated at least once a month with all the new character and feature releases, so it's well worth picking up. And in the meantime, if you want to earn some free blackstone to help you on your way, you can use my Referral Code in-game today to get 100 free blackstone. Just note you can only use one Referral Code, so make sure you make the most of it. And I think this is a good point to bring up goals 4 and 5, which are all about collaboration. And so here you want to be joining a guild and join the official Discord server, because playing this game with companions is so much better than doing it solo. Here you can find a guild that really matches your goals and helps you to level in the game. They will help you grow, you can share items, and you also get access to extra modes and rewards from the guild raids and guild wars. One of the great things about Tacticus is that there isn't the same pressure as in other mobile games with alliances, where I've always felt I needed to be doing lots every day or I fell behind. So find a guild you like and just go in and say hello and get going with them. The other thing that's an amazing tool for learning about the game is to join the official Discord server. If you've never used Discord before, it's simply a place that you can meet other players and chat to them. You also get regular competitions and important announcements from the developers themselves. I just like to drop in every now and again, ask a question or see what people are talking about. It's really interesting, well worth checking out. So you've got the beginning of a team starting to shape up. You're in your new guild, you already have a fair few silver ones ready to roll. What is the next step that you should make? The next big milestone for you is to grow your power. And you do this by building an Imperial team, a Xenos team, and a Chaos team. And then you bring them up to Gold 1 rarity. And these are going to help you in all the different modes, including Arena, Tournament Arena, Onslaught, Salvage runs, character events, and Legendary character release events, because Gold 1 is such a milestone early on in the game. Just so you understand in terms of timelines, now you will see this game for what it is. It's a long-term set of goals building up over time. Because if you want to bring a brand new team of 5 characters up to Gold 1, then you're talking about 2 to 3 months per team. So it takes a while, but you just sit back, enjoy it, and don't be frustrated with the time it takes. But let's take a look at what the ideal team here is to pick. Well, this really depends a lot on who you've been lucky enough to open with in your requisition pools. But at this moment in time, I would be trying to get a healer or a tank, a support character that buffs your other characters, and then I fill the rest with damage dealers or characters that spawn in other characters. So let's start by picking up an Imperial team, as this is a great starting place and it'll help you to push through the early campaigns. I would recommend going with the following characters. For the healer, Isabella. For the buffer, Marneus Calgar. For the damage, Bellator, Brother Butchered, Varro, and a good substitute here is Certus. If you don't have those characters, then the fallbacks would be Incisus instead of Isabella, Ragnar for Calgar, Celestine for Bellator, Cutscoden for Butchered, and Thaddeus Noble. And then a good substitute is Sword Brother Godswill. And some of these characters are legendary characters, so it's very unlikely that you'll have all 3 of Celestine, Ragnar, and Calgar. But don't worry, put together the team that you can put together, because any of these characters are incredibly powerful, and they're going to be useful for you deep into the game. Getting any of them to Gold 1 will be a benefit for you in the long run, and that doesn't mean that any of the others are less powerful by any means, so if you have a favourite Dark Angel or Adeptus Mechanicus character, then go for it. Just that these are probably as good as you can get to start with. Again, for your first Xenos team, it depends on who you have, but for me, this is a really solid leveling plan. For the healer, it's Makotep. For a buffer, it's Eldrion. For damage, it's Aleph Null, Calandis, and Revas. Good substitutes here are Immospec and Athana. And if you're missing any of them, then a healer is Gibascraps, the buffer is Tyrant Guard, although he's actually protecting people rather than buffing them. A damage is Snapareka, Boss Golgorts, Morgan Ra, and a substitute is Snotflogger. And again, any of these will set you in good stead. If you manage them all, then it'll open 3 campaigns for you and push you deep into the game. Finally, let's take a look at your first Chaos team. I would be aiming for something like this. Your healer is Nauseous Rotbone. The buffer is Abaddon the Despoiler. The damage is Angrax, Archimatos, and Harkin Worldclaimer. And the substitute is Maladis. Or if you're missing any of them, then the healer would be Toth, who's self-healing rather than healing anyone else. Rather than a buffer, I would be taking a combination of Yazagor and the damage of Abraxas, and these two work very well together, where Yazagor basically slingshots Abraxas into the enemies, and then Abraxas spawns lots of characters around him. Typhus, Volk, and a good substitute is Corodius. The Chaos team currently have much more limited choices available, so any of the above will definitely help move you forwards. At this point, you should be in really great shape and able to do a lot in the game. Your next set of goals is really about expanding your character pool even further, and so here you're going to be focused on collecting. You're going to be able to get your first character from a character release event, get your first legendary event character, and open the Rogue Trader shop by bringing a character to Winged Mastery. So starting with the character release events, you should be able to open your first character from a character release event. And if you take a look at the calendar posted by Snowprint in their official Discord, you'll see when they come up. I've also linked a beginner's guide video below telling you all about how to make sure you get the character. It's quite easy to do, but it does take a little bit of preparation and effort during the event. Then you'll be starting to work on legendary events. These are end-game events that allow you to open legendary characters like Ragnar. There are 3 events per character, and it's even possible to open them with as few as 6 Gold 1 characters and the rest being silver. So this is quite achievable if you plan properly, and especially if you have healing characters like Isabella, Nauseous Rodbone, or Aleph Null. I'm always releasing more videos around these events to help you plan, so hit that subscribe button and watch out for those too. The Rogue Trader shop is a mid to late game shop where you can buy character shards, legendary weapons and armor, and the most important thing here is XP tomes, which, if you remember back, they allow you to level up your character. You actually open up the Rogue Trader by bringing a character all the way to Winged Mastery. My recommendation here is that you start by gaining mastery with characters that give away free shards, because then you can use that as currency in the Rogue Trader shop. So good current examples of these are Snotflogger from the salvage runs, Snapareka from the arena crates, Athana from the daily crates, and Calandis from the tournament arena. And now we're really getting into long-term goals, and so let's take a look at some of these last goals that are all around specialization. At this point, you're going to need to decide what you want to be doing. Do you want to be the best PvPer in the game? In which case, specialize your tournament arena team. Maybe you want to collect all the characters at a high level as you possibly can, in which case you're going to need a wide selection of characters so that you can level legendary event characters as high as possible before the event ends. Or maybe you want to help your guild in guild raids by scoring as many points as you can, but the full list is build a tournament arena team, improve your legendary event characters, build a good raid team, build up a good defense team for Guild Wars, and build up a good attacking team for Guild Wars. And so let's start talking about building a tournament arena team. I want to be really clear that you should be jumping into tournament arena right from the very beginning of playing, because in each one you're going to get great rewards as well as learning lots each time. Every loss should be looked at as a learning experience, and they're also capped to different rarities, which means it's possible to participate even while having a pretty new set of champions. However, as you progress, you'll want to get into higher levels of the tournament arena for better rewards, and so you'll be trying to find a team that really suits your playstyle, whether that's tanky, damaging, supportive, or something in between. Then you will want to level all your characters to at least Silver 1, level your important active and passive skills to at least level 27, and equip weapons and equipment that are at least rare quality, and then level them up to level 9. This is the max cap for Tournament Arena currently, so it's definitely achievable by everyone. If you want to improve the characters you get from legendary events, then you can build out a very wide team. You're going to be looking at getting as many Gold 1 characters as you can, and some of the best surviving characters in the game even higher than that. These are characters like Isabella, Tyrant Guard, Aleph Null, Revas, Nauseous Rotbone, and more. If you want to help your guild get further through guild raids, then you're really going to have to focus very narrow and have 2 or 3 teams that are very highly powered, usually diamond characters. The main ones here currently are Eldrion, Ragnar, Maugan Ra, Thaddeus Noble, and more. But maybe you want to be helping your guild to defend and attack in guild wars as best you can. Here you're going to need, again, quite a wide range of characters. Usually at least gold ones and then maybe some highly leveled ones. And so in terms of options for defensive characters, it's really similar to the best ones from legendary events. For any attacking characters, it's anyone that you actually find fun to play. It's more important to have a wide range of them, as you can only use each character once in defense and once in attack. And so let's put all of that into one big summary for you. Here is 15 amazing goals to set you up for success. You'll be able to take a really easy screenshot in order to remember them. So they are: start simple by leveling 3 characters from the same campaign to Silver 1, use those characters to open up new characters and campaigns, and level another 3 characters from another campaign to Silver 1. Then you want to look into collaborations by joining a guild and join the official Discord server. Next, you're going to be growing your power by building an Imperial team, Xenos team, and Chaos team, and bringing them up to Gold 1 rarity. After that, you're focusing more on collecting, and so you're getting your first character from a character release event, you're getting your first legendary event character, and you're opening the Rogue Trader shop by bringing a character to Winged Mastery. And finally, you focus around specialization. Here you're going to be choosing whether you build a tournament arena team, improving your legendary event characters, building a good raid team, building up a good defensive teams for Guild Wars, or building up good attacking teams for Guild Wars. And all of this will really help to put you on the path. And that's everything for today. If this helped you or you have any feedback, then please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask here or on Discord in the official channels. Good luck on your Tacticus adventure.